And all my 350Z people out there, um, I'm excited about this aspect of my 350Z repair. I have a 2003 Nissan 350Z. I had some issues with the cylinder, not with the cylinder, with the bucket lifters. I was hearing a ticking sound. I took it to the mechanic, got it diagnosed. To found out that I just had a bad valve cover. However, I went ahead and decided to change the timing chain and tensioners and sprockets. So I ordered a set from Chloe's, and this is what it looked like. UPS just got here with it, so they kind of got here late. So I'm gonna be working on the car late tonight. But this is kind of what it looks like. This comes in it. This is what I got with it. Brand new. Generally, I have to change these once you're doing timing chain, which is around 100,000 miles. I believe it's two of those. One is going to be facing upwards and one is going to be facing downwards. The one on the passenger side is going to be facing downwards, and the one on the driver's side is going to be facing upwards. But they're interchangeable. No, they're not interchangeable because the bolting of it is a little different. So as you see, the design is different. So this one has to be bolted in this position. So this is the driver's side one. This is the driver's side one because it got to be bolted. That's the bottom. So in this pointing up, that's for the driver's side, and this pointing down for the passenger side. And then you have your tensioner. I did replace one recently. Now I have a spare one. And then you get your main chain, of course, and then you get your sprockets. This is your crank sprockets, and these are your crankshaft sprockets. Bigger, a little bit bigger. These are your crankshaft sprocket chains. At some point I'm gonna have to show you to make note of these markings. We'll get around to that. And these are your secondary tensioners, primary and secondary tensioner, and then we got our tensioner guide. We got our tensioner guide right there. So yeah, this is what the kits look like, and yeah, I'll bring you guys close up. I didn't do a tear down because I decided to do this at the last minute. So I didn't do a tear down, but I'll definitely in the process of building it up, show you guys what it looks like or what it should look like. And thank you, and I'll get started. Alright, gentle people, as we continue, like you can see, I got my night thing set up. I gotta work in the day, 7:30 to 4 p.m. So don't have much choice or time to, got a young kid as well, don't have much choice or time to take care of this, so I have to use the time as it exists. Pretty much not a lot of tomorrows in my world. So here we go. I got this installed, one of my secondaries, chain tensioners for the cam. This is for the passenger side, driver side. As I was saying in earlier, passenger side point down, driver side points up. Cleaned up my mating surfaces. Cleaned up and ready to install. Okay, I got my upper camshaft bearing covers installed. Likewise the timing chain tensioners. So I have them installed on both sides. We're going to tighten them in a sequence of 7, 10, 8, and 9. And then for these, it's 1 to 6. But the two outer middle ones are 1. Two inner middle ones are 2. Two outer ones are 3 at the back. Two inner middle ones at the back are 4. up here to the front, 2 outer ones are 5, 2 inner ones are 6. And this in the order at 12 inch-pound, those in the order of 12 inch-pound. And then you're gonna return after you finish doing 1 to 6 in the 12 inch-pound. Then you're gonna do these at 46 inch-pound. But first, the order is you gotta tighten these at the 12 inch-pound, then do the sequence of 1 to 6 through those at 12 inch-pound, then return to these and do them at 46 inch-pound, and then you do the same order for both sides. Hey, so while my sealant is drying up there and in there, I might as well go ahead and elaborate on some stuff. I installed these from the kit: chain guide, tensioners, send up, right hand one, main tensioner. There's a third one or a fourth one right there. First I gotta align my cams. So on the intake sides, this little hole should be aligned with this mark right here. On the exhaust, this big one, the bigger one, this is a small one, the bigger one should align with that mark right there. Same for this side. I have an example. You might run into a little challenge putting it back together. It happened to me. Fortunately, it was on a test reinstallation, not this installation. So you're gonna take one of these and you place it right there. There's several of them on the cams that you can place it. There's one there, one here, and then yeah, those two. You use that to snap the cam into place. So right now that isn't positioned properly, so I'm gonna have to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise, but I rather rotate it clockwise until this small one comes right around in the opening position. But at first I'm going to relax the cams and find the top dead center. I just use a long drill bit. It's just something to sit on top of cylinder 1. So I'm gonna, on the piston in cylinder 1, so I'm gonna insert it there, pass the sparks plug all the way down to cylinder 1, and then I'm gonna rotate the cam down here with my ratchet. Yeah, now I'm gonna ratchet the camshaft to find my top dead center. So I'm rotating it, and you see my, I can do this as often as I want. Come right down. So I'm gonna watch it when it come right back up and slows down. So yeah, I'm not getting any movement. That is top dead center right there. And as you can see, my marks lined up. That other one was a mark I made, but you can see my marks lined up. So that is correct. And there's a marking right there on it. That's where my chain is gonna line up with. So as I was saying, for the cam sprockets, you want to line up your intake. This one is your intake. You want to line it up right there so that this circle lines up with that T mark right there. So I'll double check it. You want to bump it a little bit more. Okay, so we're lined up. This one I'm gonna need to line up with that mark right there. So I'm going to rotate it the other direction, anti-clockwise, to line it up. And we're looking really good. Alright, so those are lined up. If you just set top dead center and go ahead and put the chain on it, you're gonna be off. This one, you want to do the same thing. You want to rotate it. This one automatically lines up. It's just the other side. So the cams are relaxed on this one, and it's relaxed in place. Think that's the 1 o'clock position. Alright, I want to rotate this one. I might have to. Oh, there we go. Alright, so yeah, there we go. That's lined up right there, and that's lined up. Now I'm gonna install my sprockets. There's some marks on the sprockets you gotta pay attention to. I'll try to get some light in so you can see it. Oh, here we go. So in your replacement, see that circle right there? That's for the left bank or passenger side, and this oval shape marking is for the driver side. And what you want to do on this crank sprocket, secondary crank sprocket as well, you're going to see the markings. This one, these have 2 oval, 2 round, and this is an old chain, but the chains are color coded. Those 2 color codes are gonna go on the secondary, and that one on the big one. And then you line those up inadvertently, and then get it on there. All right, here we go. Be sure your marks are lined up. So on this new timing chain, there's 3 marks, two like ones and 1 different one. The 2 like ones is gonna line up with that bubble right there, that straight line and that bubble or that circle. You just line them up. And then this one down here, where you at? There it is. They didn't make it as bright as the other ones, but the lighting is poor. Again, sorry for, but yeah, you can see that different one right there. That's gonna line up with the crank, with a oval shape on the crank. So essentially line these up. Make sure that your chain is seated, because you don't want it to jump. You really wouldn't want it to jump any tooth, because then you're gonna have to reset it. Or if you make it jump tooth and you're not aware of then you could cause serious damage to your engine. There we go. So I like to line mine up, and before I can do any form of connection, I get it over that first. Yeah, there we go. And then over that. And then I'm going to try and line up that mark on my crank sprocket. Sit it nicely over it. Oh, it's not over the water pump. There we go. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna have to put the camera down and line this one up. There we go. I installed my upper guide. Bring my chain around the crank. I'm yet to set that in place, but I need to show you a little thing. So we need to be centered, because this is in the right position. That's the one over there we're gonna have to adjust. So I try to keep it as exact as possible. So we have 2 links exposing, but we have about 1.5 or 1 1/3 link exposing right here. So I'm gonna use my spanner and ratchet it until it's balanced on both sides. So as you can see now, we have 1.5 on this side to the mark, and we have 1.5 on this side to the mark. So now we're really centered and at our peak precision. So with the old chain, I could have fit up my tensioners and still put it on, but because it's worn out, I could have done that. With this one, I had to take them off in order to get the chain correct and be set on the crank sprocket. So you might want to pay attention to that and don't make that same mistake. So yeah, I had to take off but my tensioners over here in order to fit this brand new chain there. With the old chain, I could have done that because it was a lot stretched out, but this one is pretty close fit. Yeah, now we're all lined up. Timing chain is installed. Sprockets are in their proper positions. And all I gotta do is just pull this tensioner clip pin. And then everything is tightened. So this will auto adjust as the chain get loose or as it rotates. So now I can rotate and double check my clearances. And yeah, should be ready to put the front cover on. So now I'm back at top dead center. I'm gonna check my valve clearances on my cylinders. So for this top dead center, you're gonna check 3-4 cylinders are open, and that's or closed I should say, and that's cylinder 1, cylinder 6 intake, cylinder 1 and 6 intake, and cylinder 2 and 3 exhaust, and their clearance should be 0.012 inches or 0.30 millimeter. You should just have a small drag. There you go. Nice smooth clearance. Yep. Nice smooth clearance. And 4/6. Nice smooth clearance. So just a little drag on the way pulling it back, the feeler gauge back out. Because these expand. These tend to expand when it's hot. So you don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose. This is cylinder 2. There we go. Nice drag. Yeah. Nice. And cylinder 3. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So we're going to rotate it 120 degrees in thirds. We're going to do that 2 times. So for the next one, we're going to do use our angle gauge. Remember I was talking about how to use this. Calibrate it. I have it set for 120. So I'm going to put it right there. And then it's going to read up 120. And then I'm going to get my ratchet in position, because I'm going to have to rotate it. There we go. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. I can't wait to put this thing together. I'm a little bit too hasty, but... So we're going to press set. I have 3-second interval to rotate it, otherwise it's going to stop. So here we go. Degrees. And then we're going to go ahead and double check our clearances. So on this one we're going to check cylinder 4, cylinder 2 and 3 intake. That's good. That's good. That's good. And that's good. And then we're going to check 4 and 5 exhausts. And we're looking for 0.013. Here we go. And these should be clear. And that's clear. That's clear. Number 4 right here. That's good. And that's good. Alright, we just need to rotate it one more time to check cylinder 1 and 6 exhausts and 4 and 5 intake. And here we go on cylinder 1 and 6 exhaust, cylinder 4 and 5 intake. $120. Yeah, that little thing is expensive. I paid $100 for it, but you know, the amount of money I'll spend will be a big difference between what I would have paid a mechanic to possibly not do the job correctly, based on the one I went to at least. All right, so we're checking 1 and 6 exhausts. Number 1, Should have a 13 gap clearance. We're good. And we're good. And for number 6 exhaust, yep, we're good. Let me word for a second. And we're good. Yep, we're good. All right, and number 4 and 5 intake. All right, there we go. This is number 5 right here. We're good. And we're good. And number 4 right here. And we're good. And we're good. So when that get hot, when those get hot, it's gonna swell. So yeah, got my factory specs clearance, and I have my timing chain brand new put in. Now I just need to clean up the timing chain cover, put some sealant on it, and put it on.